Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Curse. It's been another day for me, so maybe we can power through this and finish this game today. It's been a long time. We're trying to get to Pearl and Dwayne, who made their appearance, and I'm glad for that, kind of. Like, they're stuck in this cable car, and I didn't really...
The huge cogs were part of the cable car mechanism.
Feel like it...
Very powerful.
It would have been a Broken Sword game without Pearl and Dwayne. They've been, I think, in every single game.
The cables were suspended in a huge contraption that ran the cable cars up and down.
Maybe Pearl didn't show up in Broken Sword 4, but she was mentioned. There's somebody behind this area, and there's somebody over here. So the question, I guess, would be, do we free the person? Or do we try the levers first and try to save Pearl and Dwayne? There's a lever here and a console here. And nothing more here.
The control panel looked complicated. It wasn't powered up. And the smell of burnt electrical components hung ominously in the air. The cogs turned, but the rest of the mechanism didn't seem to be engaging.
Okay. Let's try the console then.
The control panel looked complicated. It wasn't powered up.
I didn't say look at it, I said push the button.
The control panel looked complicated.
Interesting.
It wasn't powered up.
So, throughout this game, left click has meant interact with something and do something, and the right click had been look. Now, all of a sudden here, approaching the end of the game, left click is instead just having him look and saying, I can't do it. Fine, then I guess we have to open the cupboard and have the guy who's tied up in here.
There was no lock, but the door wouldn't open.
Go away.
Hello?
So we're gonna have some more puzzle here.
Are you all right in there?
Just go away.
So immediately I think we're gonna end up finding that she doesn't want us to see her because I don't know, she's dressed in a silly outfit or something. And that's going to be the payoff for this puzzle.
Wait, please. We mean you no harm. Please, come out.
I'm staying right here until I know it's safe.
Okay, will you tell me then how to use the console?
Wait, please. We mean you no harm. Please, come out.
I'm staying right here until I know it's safe.
Well, this is odd. Let's see, we've got this lunchbox.
A talking lunchbox. Locked. With no key, I was going to have to find a way to break into it.
So let's use this with this. And see if that works. We've had that paperclip.
Well made to be picked.
We've had the paperclip for a long time, and I'm not sure we've ever used it. We also haven't ever used the yarn. Some of these papers we've used, but we may use again. The wing mirror we may use again. Alright, well then let's just put the lunchbox with the cogs, and then we'll just break it. And hopefully not destroy the radio that I imagine is inside of it.
The box was now wedged in the cogs, or rather, the giant can opener.
Just because cogs are big doesn't guarantee that they wouldn't break with a small amount of resistance. And Nico goes and picks it up. Nope, she just walks to the spot.
You know what they say about making omelets, Nico?
You can't make them without strawberry jam?
Is that what the French say?
Just as I thought, it's a two-way radio.
Can anyone hear me?
Dwayne, this is George. George Stobbart.
That doesn't sound like Dwayne.
Cow, George, just the fella I need. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Dwayne. And don't you worry, I'll have you out of there in a minute.
You reckon you can get the cable car running again?
No, the console isn't working properly. I've got no idea why not.
George, this is Pearl. Get Kat to help you. She knows everything about that place.
Kat? Is she the girl in the closet?
Has she locked herself in? Oh dear. Let me talk to her, darling.
So it certainly feels like Dwayne is a different voice actor now. And maybe a different voice actor for Pearl. It's hard to remember considering I don't think she talked or was in the previous game.
Kat, I found you a friendly voice.
How do you know my name?
Kat, dear, it's me, Pearl.
Pearl? How did you get here? That's not possible.
Listen, darling, it really is me. But I'm talking on the radio. George here is a very decent guy, and you should open the door.
I'm not going to fall for that. Prove it's you.
All right. Remember we discovered we both love musicals?
Yeah? And my favourite one is?
How does it go now? Help out. I am the very model of a modern major general.
Of information, vegetable, animal, and mineral.
I know the kings of England, and I quote the fights historical.
This is the...
From Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. I'm very good in integral and differential calculus.
I know the scientific names of bees.
This is a musical
In short,
play.
in that is vegetable, animal, and mineral.
I am the very model of a modern major general.
The dancing in the background. What a waste of animation and voice acting.
Alright, only Pearl would know that, and I trust her. Who are you?
I'm George, and this is Nico. How did you end up in a closet?
There were some guys with guns. They took over the whole station. I hid in here.
And see, this voice actor sounds familiar
I was
now.
quite surprised, you know. They never mentioned guns at the job interview.
Really? We need to use the cable car. Can you operate it?
Yeah, if the console was working, but they sabotaged it.
And there's no way to get it started?
There might be. Let me see.
Are you gonna take the lunchbox out of the gears?
See that burned out fuse down there?
In the back by the prongs?
Yeah. The idiots stuck a spanner in there and blew the fuse. They wanted to make sure no one could use the cable cars. Connect those two prongs somehow, and the console should restart.
So look at this
How on
girl.
earth are we going to reach that?
I don't know.
Hey.
Don't stick your arm in there. You'll get fried.
So they've just animated her face up close that one time. I guess that is a problem with this game, though, is that if I wanted those up closes that you would get in a normal old-fashioned point-and-click adventure games, there's no way to get them. Like, from back there, I thought...
It's Kat, isn't it?
I thought
Yeah,
Kat looked
Kathy.
like...
Katsy. And you run the station?
Looked like an
No,
old lady.
This is just a summer job.
And then, as soon as I got closer, she's not that old.
Kat seemed all right, but I decided to keep the painting to myself.
So let's once again
Would you like to talk
Try-
to Pearl again?
all of these.
No, thank you. Let's just find a way to rescue them.
I didn't
And her
think she'd like
voice acting sounds
that. I
familiar.
didn't think she'd like that.
Voice actor sounds
She
familiar.
wouldn't be impressed.
But
She
we're
wouldn't
gonna
be
go
impressed.
through all of this and not be
think
able
she'd
to
like
do
that.
anything.
I didn't think she'd like that. I didn't think she'd like that. Do you like cockroaches?
No, definitely not.
This is Trevor. He's very cute.
I think the play
Please
that
don't let
the
him
musical
out.
that they were singing was The Pirates of Penzance, but I could
have
be
half a
wrong.
cookie if you're hungry.
I didn't get to eat my breakfast, but you know, I think I'll pass.
I didn't think she'd like that. She wouldn't be impressed.
So again, nothing of import really. Let's ask about her.
So, what do you do when you aren't locked in cupboards?
I'm a designer.
Oh, hey, I knew a designer once. She,
George, we're in a bit of a hurry here.
of course. I was just curious about Cat.
Yes, I bet.
So, like, I desperately want to move the mouse wheel forward and zoom in. Or, in all realistic, I kind of wish the camera would just do a jump cut and zoom in so we could see their faces. It's not even really a case that I feel like they haven't animated the faces right at a better resolution. It's just they didn't implement their engine to get that cinematic feel, that framing of what you normally would have in a conversation in games or movies or TV.
How come you know about repairing consoles?
I like to know what I'm working with.
Got any ideas how I'm gonna reach those prongs?
Don't you have something useful in your pocket?
Yep, most likely. So, what's down there?
There's a little chapel called Santa Cova.
Did those guys go down there too?
No, I think they settled for closing down the cable cars.
How do you know Pearl?
She and Dwayne came through here this morning.
You seem like old friends.
I know. It's almost as if I'd seen her before.
Is there something to that? Did we run into a girl in the previous game like her? Frankly, it's been so long now, it'd be hard to... I can't remember if we have.
I needed to avoid touching anything that could give me a shock. I needed to avoid touching anything that could give me a shock.
Why is there a button over here? We have the front.
It was the only area that was safe for me to touch. Anywhere else would have given me one hell of a shock. The console looked complicated and dangerous.
Okay. So I can't just do this, can I?
The paperclip would do the trick connecting the two prongs. But I didn't want to just throw it in there. I might miss. That was never going to happen. The thought of Trevor armed with a paperclip intrigued me. But I had no way to attach it to him.
Interesting.
It didn't work. That was almost a great idea. Almost. I needed to electrically connect the two prongs to hotwire the console.
And we don't even have the nail clippers anymore. Where did they go? The malediction, yeah.
Nope. I needed to try something else.
Okay. So I threw the cookie there. And... am I just going to electrocute poor Trevor?
Trevor could help. But I couldn't just throw him in there. I set him down at the edge where it was safe. Go, Trevor, go!
So are we just going to electrocute him?
There had to be something missing.
Oh, wow. Poor Trevor. All this time we've had to build up in a relationship with him. And
I realized if Trevor could carry the paperclip, then he could hotwire the prongs. But the clip would fall off his back before he got there. They didn't go together. That wasn't quite right. I'd broken off the old car's side mirror. It was a radio. Dwayne had the other one down in the cable car. Why didn't Marquez want his medallion back? The young Marquez had no idea of the fate that was soon to befall his family.
It's like I need to find a piece of tape somewhere in my items. Sorry, my voice is real rough today. Like, here's a piece of tape. They would work.
Fleur had given me a ball of string. A paperclip from the Vera office. It was the cookie that kept on giving. Ah, Brett. The fragrance that dare not speak its name.
And there's no tape or anything this way. So the timetable, I suppose. Or maybe we look in the cupboard and find
something. The cable
something.
cars were scheduled to run all day. Nothing of interest in there. Looked like a small closet. The box was mangled beyond repair.
So, where am I supposed to get there?
In the corner. I guessed it operated the cable cars.
Oh, the gum. Nico has some gum. Let's talk to
Any ideas
her.
on how to reach those prongs in the console?
Oh, if only we had some rubber gloves.
I should have asked Annette for hers.
Well, you can't take everything, George.
So,
No one was manning the counter.
Anybody?
No one was manning the counter.
Anybody?
this, like, Nico does have gum on her press card. How could we get her to give it to us, though? That's not the solution. That's the problem here, is that in actuality, we need something else. Even though
So
I've thought
what's
of a
down there?
different solution.
There's a little chapel called Santa Cova.
Did those guys go down there too?
No, I think they settled for closing down the cable cars.
I didn't think she'd like that.
And I clicked on everything once. So do I have to give the paperclip to her?
She wouldn't be impressed.
Or do I give the paperclip to
That wouldn't have worked.
Nico?
What do you think of this, Nico?
I don't know. Do you think it might be useful?
Any ideas on how to reach those prongs in the console?
Oh, if only we had some rubber gloves.
I should have asked Annette for hers.
What?
So I'm probably gonna have to use a hint here.
With Langham and his thugs out there, it was far too dangerous to be walking about. Besides, I was convinced that we could make the cable cars work from in here.
This is ridiculous. I'm gonna have to use a hint again. Look, and it's been a new day. I've slept for 8 hours. I'm not really frustrated with the game yet, and it's starting up again. It's just not being helpful. This feels like filling out taxes, frankly. It's just figure it out. Nobody's gonna help. Oh, this is frustrating. We got a hint. We've got a hint again. How do I fix the console? Somehow you must create an electrical connection across the fuse prongs. Yeah, we already knew that. You need some metal close to a circuit. You'll need a way to transport it to the metal prongs. Maybe Trevor the cockroach will help you if you could just find a way to attach the metallic thing to his back. Dip the paper clip in the jam by the lunchbox. Then attach it to Trevor. What jam by the lunchbox? It's another pixel hunt issue. Jam.
Strawberry jam was smeared all over the machinery.
So, a tiny few pixels here were the part that I was missing. This game scales completely off.
In my life. The paperclip was now all sticky.
This is way, way off. If we were framing this to the point where, let's say, the screen was just taking up this much of it, and then when he walked up here, the screen just panned over and you could see a square about that big, and when you walked over here you could see a square about this big, and then you walk a little bit more and you can see a square this big. That jam would be impossible to miss. But since the scene is framed at such an extreme distance, like, all I see here is an easily overlooked red dot. And I know I'm playing this game on like a 30-inch TV, 30 inches from about 10 feet away, so I'm not playing it like a computer monitor. I'll grant you that. But even if I was looking at it directly, I still could have easily overlooked that.
I stuck the paperclip onto Trevor's back. He was now fully equipped.
And we're gonna end up ending this recording killing poor Trevor.
Go, Trevor, go!
I guess for a cockroach, at least he died doing something useful. Well, he survived.
Poor Trevor looked like he needed therapy, but the console was working.
A little bit of animal cruelty there.
The console, it's working.
Cool. I can send you down there if you want. Let me just bring the cable car up here.
Pearl and Dwayne are going to be mighty relieved.
Oh, they must have been going down in the other cable car.
Come on, Nico. There's no time to lose. As we got closer to the face in the rock, I knew for sure that we were on the right track. It was definitely the same as the face in the painting, but with one difference. The symbol of the tabula was missing from the rock formation.
So I wonder if we're gonna actually get the symbol into the rock formation. Or not.
No way to reach the face.
Did we really need to fade to black to get to that?
Let's have a look around.
They didn't bother to animate them to walk from this point to that point? Well, I mean, it may have been a long walk with no conversation anyways, but That seems very ridiculous. And Pearl and Dwayne, I guess, are out of the picture.
There had to be a way to get to that rock face.
Again, this feels very, very dark. And we're going to the chapel.
The chapel looks like it's been built right into the rock.
You're right. We should take a look inside.
I wonder, how old do you think the chapel is?
I'm guessing the exterior's a couple of 100 years old, but the inside? Who knows? Some parts could be much older.
And yes, the game crashed again. And this is so bad. This is ridiculous. This honestly
Gosh,
is
the chapel
the
looks like
You're right.
buggiest game I've ever played that
I wonder
that
how
I've
old do you
even
think the
tried.
chapel is?
I'm guessing the exterior's a couple of 100 years old.
At the very least, the
inside?
Lego games seem
Some
to
parts
run
can be
on
much
some
older.
hardware, and they never consistently crashed, except for, I guess, in Lego Indiana Jones 2 did have some big issue with
You
crashing.
think somehow this chapel might be connected to the face in the rock?
At a guess, I would say so. Hey, look, it's Pearl and Dwayne.
Oh, they are back.
Come on, honey bun. Things ain't that bad.
You just don't understand. Today's been a disaster.
But
The monastery was closed. We got stuck in the cable car. And now this place is a building site.
aw, sweetie pie.
This was supposed to be the spiritual highlight of our trip, Dwayne. But the only spirit I see is that rotten turpentine over there.
Aw, heck.
Clearly, the Hendersons weren't having a great vacation.
So, wood shavings.
Wood shavings. This was one building site that needed Mr. Tidy. They smelt exotic.
So I doubt there's a reason to go back in the door.
It was an old crank handle. It was a stone carving showing a kneeling figure.
We're right back to point and click adventure mode. We're just looking at everything.
The wall here was made of bare rock. It looked like the chapel had been built right into it.
So I suspect this is probably the
An empty, coffee-stained mug had been left by the
secret
altar.
panel.
A statue of the Madonna and Child watched over the chapel.
And they say they're calling it the Black Madonna.
A modern plaster altar had been built against the rock.
It seems like I might just be able to put this medallion in the hand of the Black Madonna, and that might open the door completely.
An old
Chandelier.
candelabra hung from the ceiling.
Candelabra, maybe we have to light that. We don't even know what to do yet, though, because it's only letting me look right now, and I imagine later on it's
A
going to
battered
let me
oil drum had been
interact.
tucked into the scaffolding.
Turpentine. We'll take that. It might be slightly offensive if I have to use the turpentine to clean the Madonna's face
A paint can was hanging from a piece
and
of
change it
wood.
from being black to
It looked
white.
just like its neighbor. The scaffolding was a little loose. Everything rattled. It made a surprisingly dulcet noise. It produced a dull sound when I rapped my knuckle against it.
So it sounds like I'm going to have a musical
Produced a
puzzle.
dull sound.
And this guy is whistling in the form of musical notes, which is interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure I can do a puzzle like that. That's complicated music. That's not simple whole notes. Did I get a mason's hammer?
It was a selection of tools. Lots and lots of candles.
And I guess we could go to the balcony, and we will do that next time. Let's see. 73% were now, I believe it's 76% or more. So we are 3/4 of the way done with the game. 115 hours since we started. It's a terrible system. You really, as a video game, wouldn't want to point out to players that they have had this game running or been playing for that long. So you would like to try to obfuscate that a little bit, or at least have a better metric that only counts the time you are actually in the game versus time you're paused in the menu. Now Steam itself has just as bad of a counter, and that's why many games will believe that you've spent hundreds of hours in them. Is because if you are the type of player that pauses, it doesn't recognize that as not actually playing the game. But internally, each individual game should be able to tell you, look, you've been unpaused for this long. If there was ever going to be a Steam 2.0, which I don't know why it would be called 2.0, but that would be a feature that it would be nice if they made mandatory, just saying, just so they knew whether you were actually playing or not. It would also probably help a lot with people who just buy cheap games to get trading cards and then leave them running and don't actually ever play the game. Although, who cares about that? If they want to leave the game running to get trading cards, let them do it. Anyways, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good